Julia was a strong and fearless woman, but her heart was broken into 1,000 pieces since the death of her beloved husband Roberto. She had been married to him for over 20 years and together they had built a happy and prosperous life. Roberto was a skilled mechanic, and his workshop was his pride and joy. Welcome to the History or Truth channel. Subscribe for more story, leave your like and comment something about the story. He spent most of his time working there, fixing cars and motorcycles for the local community. After Roberto passed away, Julia didn't know what to do with the workshop. She knew nothing about mechanics and had no one to help her run the business. However, she couldn't bear the thought of selling the workshop or closing it down for good. It was a piece of Roberto that she needed to keep alive. So Julia decided that she would clean the workshop herself. She spent days removing dust and grime, organizing tools and cleaning countertops. It was hard, tiring work, but she felt better with each passing day. One day, while cleaning Roberto's desk, Julia found a letter he had written to her shortly before he died. She opened the letter and began to read it with tears in her eyes. "My beloved Julia, I don't know how much time I have left in this world, but I wanted you to know how much I love you and how much you mean to me. You were my rock all these years, always supporting me and giving me strength when I needed it. I know you're hurting right now, and I'm sorry for that. But I want you to know that I will always be there for you, no matter where you are or what you are doing. And if anything ever happens to me, I want you to know that you are the most amazing woman I've ever met, and I'm grateful every day for having you in my life. With all my love, Roberto." Julia's tears ran down her cheeks as she read the letter over and over. She felt Roberto's presence around her, and that comforted her. She remembered all the happy times they shared together and knew she would never forget the love they had for each other. Julia decided that she would keep the workshop open, but would make some changes. She hired an experienced mechanic to help her run the business, but she started working in the shop herself, managing paperwork and dealing with customers. She knew she wasn't as good as Roberto at mechanics, but she was willing to learn. Over time, Roberto's workshop became even more prosperous than ever. Julia has become a skilled and respected businesswoman, and Roberto's workshop has become an institution in the city. She never forgot the letter Roberto had written her, and she always kept it close to her heart. The years passed, and Julia aged, but Roberto's workshop continued to prosper. She had made many changes since finding Roberto's letter, and now the store was a modern and busy place. However, Julia never forgot her love for Roberto and always remembered him fondly. One day, Julia was visited by an elderly man she had never seen before. He introduced himself as a friend of Roberto's, who had died many years ago. The man told Julia that Roberto always spoke of her with affection and love, and that he always remembered how brave and determined she was. The man then handed Julia a box, saying it was something Roberto had asked him to give her after he died. Julia carefully opened the box and found a packet of letters tied with a ribbon. The letters were from Roberto to Julia, written during the years they were married. In each letter, Roberto expressed his love and admiration for Julia, and told funny and touching stories about the life they shared together. Julia was moved as she read the letters and remembered all the happy times they had shared together. When she finished reading the last letter, Julia realized that, despite all the years that had passed, Roberto's love for her had never waned. She knew she had been blessed to have such strong and true love in her life. With Roberto's letters close to her heart, Julia continued to manage Roberto's workshop until her final days. She never forgot the love they shared together and always remembered Roberto fondly. When she died, she left the workshop to her youngest son, knowing that Roberto's tradition would continue for years to come. Julia and Roberto's story is proof that true love never dies, even after the person you love is gone. Even in the most difficult moments, love can give us strength and courage to face any challenge.